Distinguished guests, we have gathered here today to elucidate the intriguing yet controversial science of pluviculture and the ostensible omnipotence of humanity over precipitation. Since time immemorial, rituals to invoke rain have been ubiquitous across cultures, but it was not until the momentous discoveries of the 20th century that the formidable foundations of weather modification were established. The seminal experiments of Schaefer, Vonnegut and Langmuir demonstrated that supercooled water could crystallize around silver iodide nuclei. This revelation of glaciogenic seeding underpins modern cloud seeding techniques. By dispersing hygroscopic and hydrophilic particulates via aircraft or ground-based generators, condensation and precipitation can be induced through the introduction of cloud condensation nuclei. Numerous, randomized trials substantiate statistically significant rainfall increases through seeding. Vast operational programs in the American West, China and the Middle East aim to augment water resources through targeted precipitation enhancement. However, skepticism remains regarding seeding efficacy, randomized results, unintended impacts and geopolitical ramifications. Nanotechnology and laser-assisted cloud seeding portend an intriguing future for pluviculture. But as we stand astride the threshold of a new era of weather modification, we must reflect carefully on the ethics of utilization. Can humanity truly claim dominion over the clouds? Should precipitation be subject to technological optimization and monetization? This power commands both awe and apprehension. We would do well to wield it with prudence and principle. Nanotechnology and laser-assisted cloud seeding represent cutting-edge advancements in the field of pluviculture, which is the science of enhancing rainfall or precipitation. These innovations have the potential to revolutionize our ability to manipulate weather patterns and augment water resources. However, as we venture into this uncharted territory, ethical considerations loom large. The question of whether humanity can rightfully claim dominion over the clouds raises profound ethical and philosophical dilemmas. At its core, it challenges a relationship with the natural world. Should we, as a species, possess the authority to manipulate the very processes that sustain life on Earth? It's a question that requires a delicate balance between our quest for progress and our responsibility as stewards of the environment. Moreover, the prospect of optimizing and monetizing precipitation through these technologies introduces economic and social dimensions to the ethical debate. Who should control these weather-altering technologies? How do we ensure equitable access to their benefits without exacerbating existing disparities? The commodification of weather raises concerns about the potential exploitation of this newfound power. In this era of weather modification, it is imperative that we approach these innovations with the utmost prudence and principled decision-making. Ethical frameworks and regulations must be established to guide the responsible use of these technologies, minimizing harm to the environment and society. Transparency, inclusivity, and international cooperation are essential in shaping a future where weather modification benefits all and respects the delicate balance of nature. The awe-inspiring capabilities of nanotechnology and laser-assisted cloud seeding are accompanied by a sobering sense of apprehension. The power to influence weather patterns demands a profound ethical reflection on our role in the natural world and our responsibility to wield such power wisely and ethically. While the promise of precipitation enhancement is profound, we must address the uncertainties that yet pervade this nascent field. Randomized statistics have been questioned and observational studies suffer the capriciousness of natural variability. There remains debate regarding optimal seeding techniques, delivery mechanisms, microphysical modeling and nucleating agents. The very physics underlying glaciogenic and hygroscopic seeding are imperfectly constrained. And what of unintended climatic and ecological consequences? In augmenting rain through cloud seeding, what alterations may propagate through complex atmospheric dynamics? Could disruptions of natural hydrological cycles and increased rain acidity impact fragile climate biomes already endangered by anthropogenic activities? Such questions merit the utmost prudence and probity by our community of experts. Cloud seeding involves the introduction of certain substances into clouds to augment rainfall. However, this process can have far-reaching effects on the environment. Firstly, it may lead to alterations in complex atmospheric dynamics. The introduction of seeding agents can change the behavior of clouds, affecting not only the targeted area but also adjacent regions through wind patterns and moisture distribution. Additionally, cloud seeding has the potential to disrupt natural hydrological cycles. By artificially inducing rain in one area, moisture that would have naturally flowed to other regions may be diverted, leading to water scarcity in some places. This disruption can have cascading effects on ecosystems, particularly in arid and semi-arid regions where water availability is critical for both flora and fauna. Furthermore, there's the concern of increased rain acidity resulting from cloud seeding. The chemicals used in the process may alter the pH levels of rainwater, which can be detrimental to aquatic life and soil quality. This can impact fragile climate biomes that are already endangered by various anthropogenic activities, such as deforestation and pollution. To illustrate, consider a scenario where cloud seeding is heavily employed in a region with fragile ecosystems, like tropical rainforests. The altered rainfall patterns and increased rain acidity could harm unique plant and animal species, potentially pushing them closer to extinction. These questions and concerns highlight the need for utmost prudence and probity among our community of experts. It emphasizes the importance of conducting comprehensive environmental impact assessments before implementing large-scale cloud seeding programs and underscores the need for ongoing monitoring and research to better understand the long-term consequences of such interventions. Overall, cloud seeding, while a promising technology for water resource management, must be approached with caution due to its potential to set off a chain reaction of unintended climatic and ecological consequences, disrupting natural systems and further endangering already fragile climate biomes. Yet opportunities abound for international cooperation and innovation. The planet faces escalating water scarcity. Perhaps engineered precipitation could mitigate drought and nourish agriculture in arid regions. New nanomaterials may offer harmless, efficient nucleation. Satellites and AI could enable responsive, optimized seeding while minimizing ecological external. I have so far focused our discussion on the science and ethics of rain engineering, but we must also grapple with the policy challenges that confront this new domain of technological influence. How should engineered precipitation be governed? Can rain creation be regulated without curtailing innovation or requiring prohibitive oversight? What liabilities apply if seeded rain causes environmental or economic harms? The intersection of science, ethics, and policy in the realm of rain engineering presents a complex and multifaceted challenge. While our previous discussions have centered on the scientific and ethical dimensions of this emerging technology, it is imperative to shift our focus towards the crucial policy considerations that this field demands. Governance of engineered precipitation poses a formidable question. Striking the right balance between promoting innovation and ensuring responsible use is paramount. Policymakers must grapple with the task of developing frameworks that encourage research and development in rain engineering while safeguarding against potential misuse or ecological repercussions. Regulation in this context is a particularly thorny issue. The challenge lies in establishing guidelines that protect against adverse consequences without stifling technological advancement. Striking this balance will require interdisciplinary collaboration among scientists, ethicists, and policymakers to craft nuanced and adaptable regulations that evolve with our understanding of the field. Furthermore, addressing liabilities stemming from engineered rain is essential. If seeded precipitation inadvertently leads to environmental degradation or economic losses, assigning responsibility becomes a vital concern. Legal mechanisms should be established to determine liability and provide recourse for affected parties, thereby holding those responsible accountable for their actions. The science and ethics of rain engineering are intrinsically tied to the complex web of policy challenges. Finding the right path forward necessitates a delicate balance between fostering innovation, ensuring responsible conduct, and safeguarding against potential harm. Crafting a robust framework for governance, regulation, and liability in this domain will be a pivotal task for policymakers in the coming years as rain engineering continues to advance. A nascent field like pluviculture requires nuanced policies that balance public safety with progress. Prudence argues against reckless weather modification without study of unintended effects, yet excessive bureaucracy must not stifle development of benign new techniques. It is a delicate balance, requiring the wisdom of both scientists and lawmakers. The global scale of weather systems further complicates governance. Rain obeys no human boundaries. Seeded clouds can profoundly impact neighboring lands and economies. Thus, international cooperation is essential for ethical stewardship of shared atmospheric resources. No single nation can claim sole authority over clouds and rain. A multinational framework focused on atmospheric sustainability and welfare could foster innovation while checking and wise interventions. The complexity of weather systems on a global scale poses a significant challenge to effective governance. Weather patterns, particularly phenomena like rain, are not confined by national borders, making it difficult for any single country to exert control over them. Furthermore, the deliberate manipulation of weather, such as cloud seeding, can have far-reaching consequences, affecting not only the nation where the intervention occurs but also neighboring regions and their economies. Therefore, it becomes evident that international cooperation is imperative for the ethical management of our shared atmospheric resources. No nation can assert exclusive authority over clouds and rain, given their inherent transboundary nature. This underscores the necessity for a multinational framework dedicated to the sustainable stewardship of the atmosphere and the welfare of all nations. Such a framework would serve as a platform for collaboration and knowledge sharing, enabling countries to collectively address the challenges posed by weather systems. Moreover, an international approach to atmospheric governance can promote innovation while acting as a safeguard against unwise and potentially harmful interventions. By pooling scientific expertise and resources, countries can work together to develop responsible and ethical practices for managing weather-related issues. In doing so, they can strike a balance between harnessing the benefits of weather modification technologies and minimizing potential adverse effects on the environment and neighboring regions. Ultimately, a multinational commitment to atmospheric sustainability not only benefits individual nations but also contributes to the global well-being by ensuring the responsible and equitable use of our shared atmospheric resources. But vested interests threaten even well-intentioned policies. Should cloud seeding become monetized and privatized, the temptation of profit could overwhelm concerns, and some fear military application of rain control as a coercive geopolitical tool. Imagine floods or droughts induced strategically. Such scenarios highlight the need for moral wisdom in wielding these potent technologies. The prospect of harnessing technologies like cloud seeding for various purposes has sparked both hope and apprehension. While these innovations hold the promise of addressing environmental challenges, there is a growing concern that vested interests could jeopardize even the most well-intentioned policies. One looming threat lies in the potential monetization and privatization of cloud seeding techniques. As profit motives come into play, there is a risk that the imperative to maximize financial gains might overshadow genuine environmental and humanitarian concerns. Moreover, the idea of military applications of rain control introduces another layer of complexity. The use of weather modification as a coercive geopolitical tool raises troubling possibilities. Imagine a scenario where floods or droughts are induced strategically to manipulate regions or nations, causing widespread devastation and suffering. Such actions could have far-reaching consequences and destabilize global politics. In light of these potential abuses, it becomes evident that ethical considerations are paramount in the development and utilization of these potent technologies. In essence, the debate surrounding cloud seeding and similar technologies underscores the critical importance of moral wisdom and responsible governance. While these innovations hold the potential to mitigate environmental issues, their exploitation for profit or military advantage must be tempered by ethical principles to ensure their responsible and equitable use for the betterment of society and the planet. From a military standpoint, seeding clouds can be an interesting endeavor depending on the outlook one has with the current technologies and etc. Overall, cloud seeding is a weather modification technique that involves dispersing substances into clouds to encourage precipitation. While it is primarily used for agricultural and environmental purposes, there have been discussions and limited instances where cloud seeding could have potential military applications. Here's a more detailed explanation. With weather warfare, some theorists have speculated about the use of cloud seeding as a form of weather warfare. The idea revolves around manipulating weather patterns to disrupt the enemy's plans or capabilities. For example, altering rainfall patterns to flood enemy territories or creating droughts to weaken their agriculture and economy. In tactical advantage, the cloud seeding could be used to provide tactical advantages in military operations. For instance, creating fog or heavy rainfall in specific areas could obscure enemy movements and hinder their visibility, providing cover for military activities. Regarding air defense, altering weather conditions might also affect enemy aircraft and missile systems. Introducing extreme turbulence or hailstorms could potentially damage or impair the effectiveness of hostile aircraft or projectiles. From a strategic resource control point, cloud seeding could be used to control access to vital water resources. By monopolizing precipitation in a region, a military force could limit the availability of fresh water to their adversaries, which could be strategically significant, especially in arid regions. Regarding environmental concerns, it's important to note that cloud seeding for military purposes raises serious ethical and environmental concerns. Uncontrolled manipulation of weather patterns can have unintended consequences, affecting not only military targets but also innocent civilians, agriculture, and ecosystems. With legal and ethical considerations, the use of weather modification in military operations may violate international laws and treaties, such as the Environmental Modification Convention, (UNMAD), which prohibits the hostile use of environmental modification techniques. It's worth emphasizing that cloud seeding for military applications remains largely speculative and controversial. Most nations focus on using cloud seeding for civilian purposes, such as water resource management and agriculture, rather than for military objectives due to the ethical, legal, and environmental complexities involved. Esteemed guests, the questions of policy and governance in weather modification represent a nuanced challenge, but through ethics and cooperation, we can strike the right balance between progress and prudence. The rain that falls links us all. Its patterns transcend borders and ideologies. Therefore we must approach rain engineering not fractiously, but united and care for our shared atmosphere and ecosystems. By acknowledging both the great promise and great uncertainties around rainfall enhancement, we take the first step toward wise policies that serve all humanity and our fragile planet. My friends, in closing this lengthy discourse, I feel we have only scratched the surface of the complex science, ethics and policies surrounding engineered precipitation. Yet certain truths stand out to guide us forward responsibly. We must approach weather modification with humility. Our knowledge remains limited next to the intricate chaos of clouds and rain. While seeding shows promise, we ought not claim mastery over the atmosphere until research further elucidates the physics and chemistry behind induced rainfall, nor should we forget that the weather system is global. Local interventions may have planetary impacts over time. However, Judicious research should continue, even when contentious. The controversies around cloud seeding can be overcome through randomized controlled trials, peer review and policy oversight. In time, new data and technologies may unlock sustainable rain enhancement to counter droughts or water scarcity, but this knowledge must develop transparently and cautiously. Cooperation is key. No one nation owns the clouds or should dominate rain research. Pooling insights and findings will accelerate progress for all humanity's benefit, and inclusive global governance can uphold ethics where unilateral policies might falter. We must reject any notion of weather as a tool of power or economic gain. Most of all, conscience must guide us. Pluviculture, though promising, brings risks along with rewards. As stewards of this technology, we bear the burden of using it morally and preserving the planetary environment. Science gives us capabilities. Ethics must determine the righteous application. With care and compassion, we may use rain engineering to nourish life rather than imperil it. My friends, the future course is uncertain but full of hope. Together we can illuminate the intricacies of weather modification and in time bring gentle rains upon thirsty lands. But we must do so selflessly and prudently, in service of all people and the precious biosphere. If we keep faith with science and conscience, engineered rain will become not a threat but a balm upon our fragile earth. Thank you all for sharing in this momentous discussion. May it mark the beginning of great endeavors guided by wisdom. Our children await the fruits of what we sow today in science. Let us work to make it a bountiful harvest. I conclude this lengthy speech with optimism, tempered by vigilance. The rains nourish life together. Let us marshal their potential with benevolence. The future of engineered precipitation is in our hands. Let them be caring, cautious hands to bring benefit, not harm, through this technology. That is my humble plea to you all. Now let us take questions, ever mindful of the great trust placed in us. The rain beckons, may we follow with wisdom.